Hello, this is Miss Weatherly. I'm so glad that you have found my first lesson. My first lesson for kindergarten through second graders on my Google Classroom will be a review of all the topics we've learned this year. I thought that it would be a good idea to have one place where I could review everything we've learned this year before we move on to more topics towards the end of the year. I normally teach one lesson to each class every other week, or one lesson every 2 weeks. So during this time of remote learning, I will be posting one lesson for K2 and one lesson for 3-5 every 2 weeks. I am recording this lesson using Screencast-O-Matic. This is my first time I'm recording a lesson, so it is likely that I will make a lot of mistakes and mess up. I do only have 15 minutes to get through each slide, so I'm going to try my best to finish. If I mess up, I am most likely going to just keep on going so I don't have to start over again. There's a few other things I want to say before I start. I hope that you all are doing well. I miss you and I've been thinking about you. I hope that the adjustment to our break and our school closure is going well, and I really hope that this adjustment to remote learning is going well. Because this is my first time using not Google Classroom, but Screencast-O-Matic, I'm not sure how the links are going to work for you. Instead of linking the links to a word like I normally do, I copied and pasted the whole link. That way, hopefully, you will be able to copy and paste the link. I won't be playing all the videos in the PowerPoint. That is why I've posted the links in case you would like to re-watch a video that we've already watched in class. You will have the link to do that. 2 more things before we start. I want to acknowledge that this lesson is long and it does include a lot of information. Please, if you ever feel overwhelmed or feel that it is too much, please take a break and come back to it later. I certainly do not want to overwhelm you. And last, I want to let you know that at the end of the lesson, there will be an opportunity for you to show me what you've learned in a Google form quiz. This is not a grade at all. This quiz will not be graded. This quiz will just be a way for me to know that you watched the lesson and that you've tried and attempted the work. All right, let's begin. As I already said earlier, I miss you so much. I hope that this lesson will be fun to you. Like I said, this is not graded. Stretch your brain and have some fun. This PowerPoint will go over lessons we've done this year in grades K1 and 2. If there's a topic that is new to you, that's okay. Don't worry at all. That means I did not teach that lesson to you or your class or maybe even your grade. Please still review the slide. When you finish, like I said, there will be a Google form for you to take so I can understand what you remember and what you have learned today. One of the first lessons that I taught you at the beginning of the year was about feelings and coping tools. This topic has been involved in most of my lessons, but I will begin with giving an overview of it. I want to remind you that all feelings are okay. It's just a matter of what you do with your feelings. It's about what you do with them that matters. Here are some calm down choices that you may pick from, just like a dinner menu, to choose from when you are upset. I'm going to go on, but feel free to pause the video whenever you need to. You are in control. If you ever feel upset or sad or frustrated or overwhelmed or worried, remember, all feelings are okay. It's just a matter of how you handle them. And it's just about being human. So, remember, the first thing that you need to do is name that feeling. Second, pick a coping tool. Pick a way that you are going to respond to that feeling. And then, after you do the activity, consider naming how you feel again to see what's changed. I want to go over 2 coping tools that we've really talked about in class, and most of you remember. The first is the belly breath. Feel free to copy and paste or click the link however it may work for you in the PowerPoint to watch the belly breath video. Another coping tool that we've learned is the I feel statement. Something you can do when you're upset is say, Mom or Dad, I feel sad. Can you help me? And that might just be a way that you handle your feelings appropriately. Another lesson we've done this year is called Size of the Problem, where we considered the definition of what problem means and how we considered the size of those problems. Let's give a few examples. Here's the definition of a problem. A problem is when something goes wrong. Remember, anytime a problem arises, it's important to stay patient. Then we need to consider, is the problem small or large, and what's our next step? To determine a small or large problem, we compared it to a rainstorm. We can compare a rainstorm to being a small problem. A small problem being that you can fix it or you can tell an adult later on. Examples of a small problem would be a small spill. Another example would be that you forgot to put your name on your paper. Another example would be that someone fronted you in line. These can be fixed by you or by an adult later on. Big problems. Big problems can be compared to a thunderstorm, right? When there's a thunderstorm, we need an umbrella, we need a rain jacket, we need an adult, and we really shouldn't be outside. This problem needs to be fixed right away, and an adult needs to know right away. Examples of these big problems might be that your leg is bleeding, or you dropped your tray in the cafeteria, or you got lost around Dillard Academy. Remember, if you face a problem, remember to stay patient and consider the size of the problem before you move on. All right, the zones of regulation. This has been a big topic that we've talked about this year. And for this topic, I am going to change my screen and read the story to you. I'm going to read fast, but remember, you can pause at any time. The Monsters of Regulation. Once upon a time, there were 4 monsters: green monster, red monster, yellow monster, and blue monster. They all had different feelings. Their feelings made them react differently. Green monster was happy. He had a smile on his face, a calm body, and quiet hands. Green monster was able to have a lot of fun. Show your family or those around you how you think green monster looks in the green zone. Yellow monster was a little too silly. His face was scrunched, his arms and legs were wiggly. Yellow monster wanted to have fun, but he was too silly to enjoy his friends. Move your body around like yellow monster. Red Monster was out of control. His face was squished, his mouth was frowning, and his hands were tight. Red Monster was stomping his feet. Show how you think Red Monster looks in the red zone. Blue Monster was very sad. He was thinking sad thoughts, crying, and tired. His mouth was a frown and his head was down. Blue Monster did not have much energy to make himself feel better. What do you think the Blue Monster looked like in the blue zone? Green Monster did not like seeing his friends in different zones. Green Monster decided to help his friends feel better. I can help my friends. The rest of the story tells us some coping tools that Green Monster suggested to his friends. I'm going to go through these quickly so that I can finish the PowerPoint. He suggested to Yellow that the Yellow Monster should take 5 deep breaths. He suggested to the Red Monster to count to 10. And he suggested to the Blue Monster to go play with friends and to try giving someone a high five. Okay? So, our goal is to be like the Green Monster. We have about less than 3 minutes to finish, so I'm going to go through this quickly. Good citizenship. Good citizenship was a character trait in November that we talked about. Being a citizen is a person who lives, works, and plays in a community, just like Madison. Ways to be a good citizen would be not splashing around in the pool, not littering or throwing out trash out of our window, not honking the car horn too loud, and eating with fork and knife. Those were just some examples from our book, What If Everybody Did That? Self-control. When we talked about self-control, we compared a TV remote to controlling our actions. If there's something you really, really want to do, but you know it's wrong, consider the 6 buttons that are on this slide. Please have your mom or dad pause the video now and read those to you. Thank you. Remember, consider using your self-control and making decisions wisely, just as you would control a TV with a remote. Growth mindset. To talk about growth mindset, I showed you all a very funny video that you all love so much. Here it is. Feel free to pause my video and watch this at this time. Remember that growth mindset is all about knowing that mistakes are okay, that effort and trying is more important than getting the answer right. Remember that there's always another strategy or a plan B to complete what you're trying to do. And remember to take your time on all your assignments and goals. Just like Ormy did. Kindness. Kindness has been something else that we talk about regularly in guidance. Be the I in kind. Be nice and choose to be kind. Remember that this makes others feel better. When you watch the video in the next slide, I would like for you to consider how the character's emotions changed. Okay? When someone shows an act of kindness, or when someone is nice to someone, consider how it changes their feeling from before and after. We have 2 more topics to finish quickly. Empathy. To talk about empathy, we watched and listened to a story called Stand in My Shoes. It did not really mean to stand in someone's shoes. Tell your parents what it really meant, and tell your parents the 2 steps of empathy. Last, patience and tolerance. Please have your parents read these definitions to you. And last, please fill out the Google form. Thank you.